Hi, I'm Mark from Systematic Soldiers, and today I'm going to be making a requested tutorial by a user called Lucas2310, not 2310. You should check his channel out. I'm going to subscribe to him right now. I forgot to subscribe to him. And he asked for a tutorial on how I actually made my Minecraft OCE, and I thought it was a very good request, so I thought, why not, I should make it. So first thing you want to do is hit composition and new composition, and I want to make my height 720, and then I'm going to go on file, import, file, and just want to go up to your videos, Minecraft. Actually, no, there. And you want to select your clip, pardon me, and you just want to drag it into the timeline thing here. Now, mine doesn't fit the frame, so I'm just going to bring it up a little bit. Pardon me, I've got a really bad cough today. And the first effect you want to do is, well, which I did, is the colour correction. So you want to select your layer, hit effect, go to colour correction and hit curves. Now what you want to do with the curves is you want to make this S shape like I'm doing now, and as you see it gives you this kind of like dark-ish moody effect, if you get me. And you'll see this more when you apply the next thing, sorry, not the next thing, the third thing. But the next thing is if you go on effects, colour correction, and go on to hue/saturation, you just want to bring the master hue up to about 5, just a tiny bit, because if you go too far, you get these really wild colours which you don't want. Pardon me. So I'm just going to bring that back to 5. Just going to make that 0, and on the master saturation here, you want to bring this up a tiny bit. If you bring it up too much, you get this really weird effect which I don't like. So I want to bring it up to about 12ish or 11, I guess. And the lightness is really out of your preference, to be honest. I'm just going to leave it at 0, so just leave it at that. And the next effect we're going to apply is, if you hit effect, colour correction, gamma/pedestal/gain. This is where the main colour correction aspect of it comes in, because if we bring these colours down, we get this like the red gamma down. You see it starts exposing more of the blue, like so. So I bring this down to about 0.8ish. And the red pedestal, you can just leave it 0. Now with the red gain, you can bring that down if you want. I think I'm just going to leave mine at 0.9. Green pedestal, I think I'm just going to leave that. I think I'm just going to leave all the green stuff the same. And the blue gamma you can either bring up or down. I think I'm just going to bring it to 1.3ish. The blue pedestal I'll just leave the same at 0, and the blue gain you can either, I think I'm just going to bring up to 1.1. Actually just leave it at 1. But you see you've got this like nice blue moody colour correction at the moment. I'm doing it this way because some people out there don't have magic bullet looks. I've got magic bullet looks, but I thought this is the way I did it, and I think this is a good way, which you can play around with all the colours and stuff. Now the next thing I did was, if you go into layer, new, solid. Now with the solid you want to make sure it's like completely matte black, and hit OK. And you see this little square here, you just want to hold it down and go to ellipse tool. Now you just want to make a massive ellipse and if you go back onto this here, you try to drag it to the middle-ish and make sure this black solid layer is actually above the video clip, because if it isn't, it won't work. If you go onto masks, and you'll see this mask one here, you want to actually bring it down first, and you want to hit inverted, and next thing you want to do is you want to bring the feathering up. I mean, if you want, you can change the shape of this. I think I might change it to this, and I'm gonna bring the mask opacity down a little bit. So you see you've kind of got this nice little outer edging here, which adds to the effect more. So the first effect, the main effect actually, which I do throughout this, is the CC lens. So what you want to do for the CC lens is you actually want to select your video layer and you want to copy and paste it. Now it doesn't matter which, you've got to choose the video layer above the copied one. I mean, you can swap them around, it doesn't really make a difference, but once you've chosen one, you've got to keep it in the same position. So if you go on to Effect, Distort, and you hit CC lens right there, you'll see you'll come up with this big circle here. And I'm just gonna bring the size down so I can see where I want to place it. And if you bring this time navigator thing much lower down, it makes, if you bring it shorter actually, it makes everything more accurate. Now what I like to do is I like to do this through the actual video, so if you hit this little arrow here, then go on Effects and hit CC lens. I want the lens to start from about here-ish. So I'm just going to keyframe the size here, and I'm going to go to about here-ish and bring it up to about 500. Now hopefully when we play this back it should give us the lens effect that we want. See there, it's a bit fast, so what you might want to do is you just bring this first keyframe back a little bit, and you can actually time this with the music as well. So I mean, it's fairly fast at the moment, but I mean, it's just actually, where is this keyframe? There it is. It is fairly fast at the moment, so what you can do is you can actually drag this keyframe forwards a little bit, so hopefully when we play it back it should be much smoother. Like, I mean, you can mess around with it as much as you want. I mean, but that's just like the general effect of it. Now, if you're wondering, on the CC lens, the convergence, if you bring it down, so it makes it like a TV screen, like an old TV screen, and you don't want that. I mean, if you bring it like, you want to like make sure the convergence is always on 100. I was just telling you that because if it isn't, then it's not going to look good at all. So just bring this back to 100. But you see, you get this general effect of like, you know, it's kind of like a boom shot kind of thing. And like I said, you know, the timing with the music, it'll make it look brilliant. So the next effect I did was Twixter, and you can download this plugin off the internet. You've got to buy it, or you can find it somewhere else. So you want to go onto your RE Vision plugins, and actually no, before the Twixter, one important thing, I applied this thing called Real Smart Motion Blur. So if you just hit RSMB Pro, if you bring the motion blur up to about 1, you see when you move it, when you're moving now, it just looks much smoother. It applies this blur. I mean, I'll just bring it up so I can make it clearer for you that it's actually applied. Just have to bring it on a point where we're actually moving. You see there? If we just bring it down to 1, it'll still have the blur, but it'll just it'll look much more subtler. And this is like, you know, what most people use for one clip edits on Call of Duty and stuff like that. So just bring all of these down because they're getting in the way at the moment. I mean, you can change them however you like, to be honest. This is all fully customizable except for the CC lens, which really you can't really change the convergence or anything, but it looks really nice the way it is. So let's get on to the Twixtor now. So RE Vision plugins, hit Twixtor Pro. Now the first thing you'll realise if you've applied all these effects, they will all seem as if they've just completely gone away. Now this is because Twixtor Pro has to be on the top there, and it'll bring all the colour correction stuff back. And you want to go to your composition settings, and see the frame rate here. What you want to do is you want to copy that and just paste it in here, and make sure the selected clip is correct. So I want this one, so I'm just going to select it. And before you apply anything, make sure the warping is set to inverse with Smart Blend. Now this just makes it much more smoother in the way that it doesn't warp as much, but it's still got to warp. Hopefully I'll be able to show. Hopefully I can show you an example of it, of where it warps. But I really want to start my Twixtor around here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the little arrow, go to Effects, Twixtor Pro, and you want to hit Output Control. Now if you go down, you'll see the speed here. What you want to do is you want to go right to the start of your clip and keyframe it at 100. Now you want to go back to that point where you want to Twixtor again. So I said around here-ish. And you want to set another keyframe for 100. So now I'm not sure how to I think you just hit the thing there. But the way I did it is I just changed it, just applied it. But I think you can just hit the diamond thing there. I think that works as well. And just test it out now. See, while I'm doing this tutorial, I'm learning new things. And with the speed, you just want to make sure you're a frame after something. Bring it down to about 3, I'd say. You hit enter, automatically keyframe. To about. I just want to make the Twixtor to about here. So I'm just going to hit the diamond thing again. Go a frame forwards. Bring it back to 100. And just see this on playback. It should look much nicer with all the effects now. I mean, as I said before, you can play around with all these effects. I mean, they all look good, but these are just the general effects which I used to make this one clip edit. And I think, if you've got the will to, really put some time and effort into this, you can really make a good one clip edit. I mean, there's other things you can add, like optical flares. You can add better color correction. You're bound to find like more effects and stuff like that. But this has been it for today, and hopefully you've enjoyed the tutorial. Hopefully you'll be able to use it well. But it's been it for today, guys. I'll see